Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Olnuzola and I'm back with another video, obviously. This video is semi-improvised, so I have the stuff that I want to share and talk about and explore with you here in front of me on my table. As you can see, I have a theme, a little bit of a theme outfit. I love doing that to tune in with the energies that I want to, well, live with. And in this case, it's a very interesting day because it's fall equinox and it's full moon. And in this video, I'm going to be focusing on the fall equinox. The fall equinox is a very special time of the year because today the day and night are of equal length, and so we are connecting with balancing light and dark. We are reflecting on what happened in our lives within the last year, because it's the end of summer and it's the beginning of fall. It's also the shift between Virgo season and Libra season. So a Libra season is, if you look at the sigil of Libra, it's the scales, but it's actually the true origin of the symbol is the setting sun. And this time of the year also connects to the goddess that goes into the underworld. We're entering a period of darkness because after these couple of days that we celebrate the fall equinox, also known as Mabon, the days are getting shorter and the nights are getting longer. And you know, in ancient times, we had a much deeper connection to this. There was a different, I'm not saying a deeper, but a different sense and necessity of survival. During these times, it's the second harvest of the year. And so people would celebrate the harvest, but also start to prepare things, prepare specific foods that you can't harvest later on during winter times. You know, during those times, people spend more time indoor. We spend more time indoors, so it's all, and we can still integrate these things in the times that we live in now. And I believe that if we will remember these things and if we will connect to these things, we feel more grounded and we feel more connected to the true reality. That is us, that is nature. So there's a lot to say about this particular Sabbath, the wheel of the year, Mabon, fall equinox, Virgo, Libra, full moon in Pisces, I believe. But that's not, I will talk about it, but in a different way, because I'm going to explore with you the tarot cards, well, a lot of my tarot cards that I selected yesterday from all of my decks. I didn't went through all of my decks, but I went through most of them. And I started doing this. I came with this idea came to me because yesterday I was thinking about this Sabbath, Mabon. And I have the Wildwood Tarot here. It's one of my favorite decks because it connects me to my roots and to the nature that surrounds me here in Europe. And this tarot deck goes by the system of the Wheel of the Year. So not only is it easy for me to read it intuitively, it's also interesting to me as a study source, to remember what was forgotten and to deepen my knowledge of European spirituality and myths and rituals. So there are 3 cards that connect to the Wheel of the Year as far as this deck shows us. In the book you have this list. Let me see if I can get it. Yeah. You have this list, and then where is it? So this part is where we're at now. It's the fall equinox. So you have the inner circle, middle circle, and the outer circle. And the inner circle talks about the seer. And the seer also connects with the high priestess archetype, the medicine woman. And in this card, you see her with her eyes closed because she's going inward. She is connected with her inner wisdom, with her intuition. That's inside of her. And as we enter the darker days, we will also turn more and more inwards. And she also has this owl cloak, owl feathers cloak. And the owl is a very old symbol. One second. I was going in, man. I was in a flow. And then they're cutting off my TV. Well, it will get back to us. Owl wisdom. Owl is a very ancient symbol of wisdom that comes from the darkness. I mean, owls are awake at night. They're observing. They're quiet. Yeah, they're very observative during the nighttime. She's also connected to the roots here, down here. And there's this water in front of her. So she's also connected to her emotions and the sensations that her body makes. That is connected to the sensations surrounding her, the etherical world, the information that we cannot grasp, that we cannot measure. So it's a super feminine archetype. And then the middle circle gives us the mirror. And this card connects to the Hanged Man in the traditional tarot. Now I can find connections to it, but I actually see this image as a archetype on its own. I just mentioned, or did I do that in the previous video, about the goddess that goes into the underworld. Again, we see the water, we see a heron, which is also an ancient symbol. This is also a very observative bird that stands on one leg in the waters. So there's a sense of strength, but not a forceful strength, but more of an elegant type of strength. And control of the element of water, so not being overwhelmed by emotions. And what is nice about this card is that she's holding a crystal ball, but it can also be seen as the full moon. And I actually think that the new moon or the dark moon is more of a time to go inward. But the moon itself is an energy, a reflective energy that sheds light in a different type of way, that sheds light on something else. It sheds light, it reflects light in the night time. So it is also this connection to the owl symbolism that I just mentioned. And then we have the wheel. So I just mentioned the wheel of the year. I will be making, I am writing workshops, but I'll tell you more about that soon. The time goes so fast. It's already 11 and I feel like I haven't said a lot. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to explore cards that I selected. So if you're a tarot reader or tarot collector, this is a tip from me to you on how to study your cards. What I did yesterday, so I pulled out these 3 because I wanted to connect with the fall equinox with this deck. But then I figured, let me just go through my cards and of most of my decks and see what cards to me show something that resonates with fall. Look, how cute. This is apple juice. And so some decks are new, some decks aren't. So I will be intuitively sharing some things that I see in it that resonates and connects to this time. But there are also cards, for example, from my Druid Oracle, Druid Plant Oracle, and also from my Fairy Oracle, that I will be reading from the books. So it's a little story time, but I think I will do that in a separate video. But I will show the cards and then I will just say I'm going to read about this from the book in the next video. So yesterday, so this is completely a different spiritual tradition. This is a card that I pulled yesterday, but I wanted to show it to you today. Dhumavati. I discovered her yesterday. This is from my Yogic Path Oracle. I purchased this as a present after I finished my yoga teacher training 5 months ago, 6 or 7, half year ago or something. Just to deepen my study of the yogic path. It's a bit of a superficial deck, I must say, but it's nice to pull these cards because, for example, I never heard about her, and I googled her, and she is the grandmother archetype, the grandmother goddess. People describe her as ugly. I don't think she's ugly at all. As wild. She's not adorned with jewelry. Her hair is wild. Her skin has a weird, often here it's a bit greenish. Her skin is pale, and people are scared of her, but she offers wisdom gained from dark times. And so it was very accurate that I pulled this card yesterday. And even though I love to connect with the Wheel of the Year and the European seasons and spirituality and ancient wisdom and rituals, I think it's very important for us that live in Europe to get back to that, so we can understand ourselves. But cultures and spiritualities have a lot of syncretism as well, and that's because we're all connected to nature, and nature is nature all over the world. So there are a lot of similarities. There are also differences because the climates are different. I think I see that as the origin of cultures, nature. So it's interesting that this card came up, and if you feel drawn to her, I suggest to Google her and read about her yourself. I'm a very big motivator of self-research and self-study. So I will share, bits and pieces. As I mentioned, I will also do workshops. So in that sense, I am a teacher. Also when I do the readings for my clients. But again, I'm self-taught. I'm autodidact, and I'm very conscious. That was a very conscious decision. I've been like that ever since I was little. To me, it's so important to explore and discover things myself, so that I'm, it's really this archetype. It's actually really, these cards really suit what I'm saying right now. The High Priestess, connecting with my inner self, and I would love for you to do that as well, especially during these times. I will also make I will also make a video about the archetype and the tarot card Hierophant and its connection to this year that we're in, and that also has a lot to say about what is your truth, and what is a source of information that can be trusted. Do you trust something that somebody else is telling you, and in what way? Do you immediately believe everything you hear, or are you very suspicious? No, what's the word? It can be very it can give you support to look at an authority, whether it's a priest or a minister, or a pastor, or a guru that tells you this is what it is and this is the truth. There are truths to that, but it can never be the full circle. Simply because, and it doesn't really matter what it doesn't really matter here what the intentions of these people are, because that's another topic in itself. But it can never be the full truth, even if somebody's intention is purely loving. Like my intention is loving. I want to help you and to inspire you and to motivate you into maintaining or getting back to a healthy, harmonic life, but the biggest key for me in that is to ignite this flame inside of you, to reconnect with your own inner wisdom. And September, this time that we're in right now, is a lovely time to do that, because of this harmonic energy of equal day and equal night, because of the fact that the biggest part of the year has passed. So there's a lot for you to reflect back on. But it's also important that you prepare for these darker times to connect with your roots, so that when the storm comes, you're standing firm. You know, you're rooted. You're protected. So I haven't. Maybe I should do several videos, because maybe this is an introduction video. Because this was so much improvised, but I love it because it really connects to this card. You know what? I'm going to make separate parts of it. So in the next video, I'm going to go through all these cards that I selected. And then you can see it in different stages, in different parts. Otherwise, it's becoming this long ass video. So thank you for watching. Check out the next part. I think it's going to be 3 parts. So the next part is going to be me going through the symbolism and the archetypes and the goddesses and everything that to me resonated with this time. And the third part is going to be me going deeper in unknown cards with you. So study with me type of. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Much peace and blessings. Till the next video.